25-foot deep. Some of these are shallower, some are 15, 20 foot deep, but kind of depends on how the utilities are. And we want to go deeper than the utility, so we know kind of what's underneath.
So
We need a motion.
Yes. For A, motion.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'll move.
Moved by Cobal,
I'll second.
second by Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Cobal,
Yes.
Renzo.
Yes.
Okay, B, approval of Tibbins water survey and easement.
So this is just approval of the plat. So this is the area that Seed is purchasing from the Tibbins for this phase of the development. And then there's a couple easements, temporary easements we need for grading to get the ground to kind of blend in. So that's what the easements are. I've shared these with Warren, and I'm you shared these with the property owner. And so they're on board with it. So this is just getting a plat so it can get recorded. So then there's actually a parcel then to sell.
Motion on B. Moved by Cobal,
I'll second it.
second by Kirkpatrick, how you vote, Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Cobal,
Yes.
Renzo.
Yes.
Okay, C, setting a date for public hearing, which would be April. Well, we gotta ask for it. Is it gonna be our next council meeting or?
No, this would be a special meeting on April 24th.
March
March?
27th.
No?
No, I was
Public
gonna say,
hearing
I thought
would
it said
be
April.
April.
So we'll have-
So
So we'll have a special meeting at the end of this month, we have a special meeting at the end of next
Yes.
month.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Well, you gotta get on that.
We're giving you that schedule.
Okay.
That's why I'm confused about all these things.
So need.
Okay, April 20th, we need a motion.
24.
And what time?
6:30.
Six.
6:30.
6. 6 p.m.
Six.
Okay, 6, okay.
6 is fine.
To April 21st.
No, the receiving the bids would be on April 20th.
On the 20th. You get it wrong
That,
date, man.
nobody has to, just him.
Nobody has to be here to receive bids. Just,
Oh, okay.
it's during the day. It's just Ash and myself.
Oh, that's right.
Open the bids. So that's during the day.
So I need a motion on this one.
So moved.
Renzo, second by Cobal, how do you vote, Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Cobal,
Yes.
Renzo.
Yes.
So that would be April 20th at 2 p.m. And I'll get the paperwork to you, Sarah and Ash. And then the special council meeting will be for the public hearing, and considering the bids, it'll be April 24th at 6 p.m.
We have to schedule.
Okay.
Just don't have to go to
The mayor needs a 2-minute break, just a second.
5 minutes, baby. Oh,
Two minutes.
I'm gonna go 5.
5 is 9, 7, 1, 3, 8, 1,
Yeah.
Sorry. Hang on, everyone.
No kidding.
He was at night.
but okay.
This is an alpha. I really put it on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Part of that infrastructure.
Yeah. No, that's not.
Well,
That's not. I thought it has a mouth.
and
Yeah,
it
what
looks
about
like we're finally getting some things to trickle down to us.
That's all right.
Okay.
He's gonna bring it home and
No, yeah.
make you suffer.
George.
He's not making me suffer. He did that at night.
Yeah.
I can't even catch a.
Is that like neon?
I guess.
Oh,
This is what my son was
Yeah.
doing down in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't.
Initially, I was told basically nothing
He
was
was.
gonna be released. And that's what I agreed. Something. But, and then when they're for when the bureaucracy to get done.
I don't know what's correct, but.
Yeah, several.
No, it's gotta watch that.
So.
That's what it's doing. He's having to admit when it's 11:30 at night. Which would have been. Older. He's having.
That's your.
Okay, 16, quick star signage.
Yes. Everybody's on board about that.
Okay, so as part of the Quick Star development, there are
Because
4 easements going on. One of them is the abandonment of the water utility easement going east-west of the property. Stuart Municipal Utilities at the meeting just before this one agreed to abandon that easement. There's a water line they no longer use, there's an easement, and so they agreed to abandon that easement. So that was the first one. That's probably not in your packets because that had to do with utilities. Second one is they want to have a sign easement in the northwest corner of their property, just to allow, it's still their property, but they want to have an easement to put a sign, big sign on that corner. Second one is we have running a sanitary sewer, or they're running a sanitary sewer they're gonna turn over to the city when they're done. On the west side of the property between Division and, it's on their property, but it's running along Division. Sanitary sewer easement. And the last one, which was a lot of misunderstanding, is some counties only do roadway easement. So I don't know if Guthrie does all roadway easement, but a lot of counties, Adair does roadway easement, where if you're in the city limits, the city actually owns the right of way. So if the city owns the right of way, then you can put utilities in it. You don't have to go back to the owner to get all that. So traditionally, cities will own the right of way. So this is just deeding the roadway easement and converting it into street right of way. Is what the last one is. So pretty normal procedure, but kind of had some confusion about what that was all about.
We need a motion to approve all the above.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Randall,
Second.
second by Colin, second by Patrick,
Yes.
Alba,
Yes.
Renzo.
Yes.
Quick question, Matt says that Quick Star is putting in LP, not natural, so we're not gonna put the gas line underneath. I mean, it was news to me,
Quick Start made the comment they could do either one, they didn't do one.
They needed to know by June, I thought, is the comment that he made. And if I remember right, it was gonna be $350,000 to do it. And Chip thought it was gonna be 13, 14 years before we were.
No, he redid
Just,
that.
he said at first it was gonna be 13 to 14 years, but then he came back and said it was gonna be a lot smaller time.
Yeah.
4.25.
Yeah, it's gonna be close to like 5 years, which
He said
we may
that,
wanna keep it on the radar.
yeah, he said it would pay for itself basically, and then other businesses could hook on.
So is that something we're gonna, cause they have to know by June, is that something we're gonna revisit?
They seem to have already made their decision.
I think they
That's
have
right.
already made to go to propane.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we're gonna let the American go? Or is that something we need to revisit next month or 2 months or?
It,
I think we could revisit it anytime,
right.
if we're gonna put it over there and then.
I think it'd be beneficial, as I think we all do, by having that out there, and, if we'd wanna really solidify it with Chip on his,
That's something you could just discuss with him, Ash, and then keep us updated on, I mean, I'd like to see it go out there.
I would too.
Beneficial, but.
Okay.
I agree.
17 Whitehall Road. 50 million, right?
Not quite that much, about half. So there's been something in the works for quite some time now. The Biden administration passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, IIJA, in fall of 21. And they have substantially increased the funding to discretionary grants, a wide variety of grants. in wide format. So county engineers started collectively thinking and formed a committee 9 months ago. And I'm on the District 4 representative on this committee, to pool resources and collectively effort to better compete, because they are competitive grants at the national level. So Guthrie County alone, with one project, doesn't shine very well at the national level, but 6, 7, 8 counties with a wide variety of projects touching on the key points to these that these grants look for is a lot much better presentation. And 6 months later, a grant coordinator was hired by the Iowa County Engineer Service Bureau. So this is something that's been very active and been ongoing. We've submitted 4 grants, mostly relating to bridges, one related to safety, which was awarded. It was a safety planning grant awarded to 98 counties, about 97 counties in the state. So we'll be updating our safety plans and developing them. We're waiting to hear on 2 others relating to bridges. We're anticipating the next funding opportunity to be opened up later this month, and that's the rural grant. And due to short timelines, we developed a questionnaire a while back. It was a 30-some question questionnaire, submit your project, and out of 67 applications across the state, I had submitted White Pole Road. White Pole became finalist in that questionnaire and the scoring. Some of the key components that we looked at were safety. There's some accident history on White Pole Road, so that brings the safety factor in. Connectivity and freight are 2 of the key things that's a lot of buzzwords have been using. So I submitted Highway 25 to Dexter, just lump sum in there. So we're connecting Highway 25 into Dallas County and onto the connections there from there on. Because White Pole also serves as the official detour for I-80, which also is resiliency is a key factor in this as well. And multi-jurisdictional, which sometimes we struggle with as many players are at the table with White Pole. In this case, it's a benefit. They like to see multi-jurisdiction solve the needs for the public. And another component of last year's award winners was complete streets, which is a new term to me. I'm not terribly familiar with that. So we have enlisted Forrest to help with that description of what that might mean and what that might impact the city of Stuart as a part of this grant.
All right, that's my cue.
It's your cue.
Okay. So here's kind of a real summary of what John was just talking about with complete streets. And a couple council members missing. One. So this is what we handed out.
Yes.
So complete streets are saying that streets need to be for more than vehicles and cars and trucks. It needs to be for all of the public. It needs to be a complete street, is kind of where that comes from. So it needs to, there's kind of a list of possible elements. Of course, a lot of this doesn't apply. We're not going to have metering or bus lanes or anything like that. But a lot of these things do apply. So talking about rural services, talking about bike trails, talking about sidewalks, talking about doing some landscaping. So a lot of things that, to make this available to all of the public and not just the vehicle traffic. So what Josh is saying is that in order to get this grant money, that all of the past ones that he's looked at have included an element of complete streets into the application. And so this, what we're talking about here is putting pedestrian and multi-purpose trails along White Pole Road and landscaping and kind of, I mean, think big here, is we're talking $1 million to do that kind of thing. I mean, if we're talking about a lot of money, and this would not be completely funded by the grant. There would need to be some city participation in this. Don't know how much, don't know percentage, don't really know if the million's right, but kind of to give the council some sort of a scope, that's kind of what we're talking about. At this moment, we don't have the details, and I think really what you're asking for is just kind of a motion, not a resolution, maybe a general motion, is that kind of?
Yeah, something gauging interest, in the grant, so we have 8 projects are on the finals list. We were, each county engineer that submitted them, then had to go back to you as council and, hey, we did this, what's your guys' interest, is this something you're interested in? And if it's something that's not in your wheelhouse or you're not interested, we would then drop off the finals list. So that's where we're at.
So you need some sort of a motion to participate?
Motion of support is really all that's needed. You're not committing to doing it, you're not committing any dollars. It's just, if we get the grant, we're interested in this complete concept, at least pursuing it further to see where it goes.
Yeah, I was kind of concerned if we made a motion that would signaling a commitment to it, and we don't even know how much a share would be, and I wouldn't want to do that.
Absolutely not,
So-
no, I've never asked.
I definitely, if there's an opportunity where we can get more than what we were looking at, it'll all come down to cost, bottom line, that's it. It all comes down to cost,
And the total grants that we're looking at is 25 to 30 million amongst all the projects. This is one of the larger ones, so the cap was set at about 5 million, just so we're not the greedy pig in the bunch. Us and another project. There'll be multiple steps. I would phrase this as we've kind of cleared the first hurdle in the 110 meter hurdles, and there's plenty more to get over before we really get going, but it's a possibility at this point.
Josh, at one time you talked about division going north. Is that be any of the project too or not?
No, this would be strictly white pole.
Oh, just white pole.
Yeah,
For the grant.
for the grant, yes. Because it has the accident history, which brings in the safety aspect of that. And also it's the primary ethanol freight, amongst many other freight carriers that use it. And
Could I need a motion to support?
do we need a motion to support?
I think so,
okay.
just to kind of show them that we're supporting them.
yeah.
I'll tell you, I support you.
Yeah,
I
that's-
support looking at it.
That's where we're at. I
That's-
just wanted to take your temperature, so to speak, of support of moving forward.
Do you need something in the minutes showing that?
I would think you want for your apple grant, it should be nice to have a motion of support for the grant.
That would, yeah, that's a good point for us.
Okay, we need a motion to support the grant to move forward. Moved by Kavanaugh, seconded by,
I'll second it.
second
How
by,
you vote? Patrick?
Yes.
Cobal? Yes. Renzo?
Yes.
Time to go to bed.
It is, it's getting close.
Yes. Trying to figure out, yes. He asked me how old it is, yes, okay. I'm just distracted by the watch, yes.
Oh, okay, I was,
Lord, he set the time and must have something else.
Okay, how do you vote?
Yes.
How do you vote?
Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Cobal?
yes.
Renzo?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you, Josh.
Dose.
And I would add,
That's double support.
right, yeah. And I would add, design is still full speed ahead. We're not gonna hold up and wait for the grant trade.
That was, thank you.
So just a quick question, are you guys thinking of anything there at the underpass to try to change that or anything?
I've reached out to the railroad, they don't have anything planned, that was the first question, is, do they have anything planned, and they don't, so we're on to the next step. Yeah, it's obviously one of the key things we wanna look at, and there may not be a solution, I don't know, but so we need to explore.
Yeah, just viaduct over.
Go
Jefferson.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Good, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Can I give you the motion?
Yes.
I don't know.
City property.
Well, good evening, council. Thanks for the opportunity to allow us to bring the city's insurance renewal. So just for background, events, Jindy Sterem, we represent United Risk Services. And so we've been the agent with EMC on the city's account for a long time. Our proposal is obviously to continue in that capacity and working tonight with the renewal presentation and numbers. So you should have all this information in your packets. Is that accurate? Okay. So I said this in the utilities meeting. We met with them just before this evening. I recognize busy agenda tonight and we're at the end, so we want to go as high level or as in depth as you do want to go. The reality is there's another proposal on the agenda tonight. What we're going to come to, I believe, based on the utilities, is there's no ICAP quote or proposal tonight. They're going to ask for an extension to review at a later date prior to renewal. So we want to present our information, answer any questions that